All right, what's up, everybody? It is January 5th. It's another episode of Stand Tall. We're in chapter 6 of The Art of War, verse 9. Oh, divine art of subtlety and secrecy. Through you, we learn to be invisible, through you, inaudible, and hence we can hold the enemy's fate in our hands. Subtlety and secrecy. It's good, right? Be unassuming, be in the background, right? Be in the background. Because when you watch and wait and bide your time, good things can happen when you do decide. Okay, but don't wait until you have all the information, right? A lot of times in today's day and age, which might be a little different from Sun Tzu's day and age, is there's a good quote. It's like once you have all the information, it's too late. Um, and I think that holds true to today's day and age because it is hard to gain a lot of information about a lot of things, gain all the information about a lot of things. But even if you're like subtle and secret and you're not putting it out there like what you're doing, nobody can know what you're doing and attack you and take you down before you even get started, kind of thing. So let's go over to the alternate translation here for the Art of War and see what some of the generals say about this verse. Master Sun says, "Be extremely subtle, even to the point of formlessness. Be extremely mysterious, even to the point of soundlessness. Thereby you can be the director of the opponent's fate." Dumu says, "The subtle is stillness, the mysterious is movement. Stillness is defense, movement is attack. Whether opponents live or die depends on you, so you are as the director of their fate." Du says, "This means being so subtle as to be imperceptible and to be able to change suddenly like a mysterious spirit." Okay, so like, be invisible, especially if you don't want to be attacked. And then when you do need to attack, be adaptable quickly, right? Be able to be ready to adapt at any moment. Attack and adapt at any moment. Mei Yao Chen says, "Formlessness means being so subtle and secret that no one can spy on you. Soundless means being so mysteriously swift that no one notices you." So the point of what Sun Tzu is trying to get across is it's very important to be aware of how you're acting. Are you a bull in a china shop? Are you making a lot of noise, bringing a lot of attention to yourself? Or are you purposely staying out of the way, watching, observing, making the right moves until it's time? Let's go over to the Daily Stoic for January 5th by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. January 5th is actually titled Clarify Your Intentions. So let's see how this plays into being subtle and being formless, but being quick to attack. Let all your efforts be directed to something. Let it keep that end in view. It's not activity that disturbs people, but false conceptions of things that drive them mad. Seneca, On Tranquility of Mind, 12.5. Law 29 of the 48 Laws of Power is plan all the way to the end. Robert Greene writes, "By planning to the end, you will not be overwhelmed by circumstances, and you will know when to stop. Gently guide fortune and help determine the future by thinking far ahead." The second habit in the 7 habits of highly effective people is begin with an end in mind. Having an end in mind is no guarantee that you'll reach it. No Stoic would tolerate that assumption, but not having an end in mind is a guarantee you won't. To the Stoics, false conceptions are responsible not just for disturbances in the soul, but for chaotic and dysfunctional lives and operations, right? So false assumptions, false conceptions leads to disturbances in the soul, dysfunctional lives and operations. This is really interesting because right now, as a business owner, I'm actually dealing with my first 1-star review on multiple platforms. And I kind of love it because, well, number one, the review is just it just uses strong language like it was a nightmare. And it's like, well, that's a really strong word because obviously, as a business owner, to ensure success, I want to make sure everyone's experience is like a nightmare. It really does great for all the other reviews I've gotten that are also 5 stars and like makes payment so much easier to collect. Yeah, that's my goal, right? Anyway, it's like false conceptions. Well, it's not even in this case a false conception. It's just like blatantly lying about what happened. And it's either like you're either that like not smart or unaware of what's going on in your own house, or you're just lying. Anyway, I'm happy for it because I feel like a legitimate business now because everyone has that one Karen who has to leave that review. And so, yeah, I would encourage you to go check it out. It's pretty cool, pretty entertaining to read. So, when your efforts are not directed at a cause or purpose, how will you know what to do in and day out? How will you know what to say no to and what to say yes to if you don't have a goal in mind, right? Like, what if you are formless, if you are actually taking Sun Tzu's advice and you're just being invisible, but like to like what extent? Are you being invisible with a plan in mind, or are you being invisible just to be invisible? Because you need to be invisible and unassuming and all of that, and you need to have a plan in mind as to why you're doing it. For most people, it should be so that you cannot be distracted and so that you can focus. How will you know when you've had enough, when you've reached your goal, when you've gotten off track, or if you've never defined what those things are? The answer is that you cannot. And so you are driven into failure, or worse, into madness by the oblivion of directionlessness. So that's kind of like what I intuited without even reading the rest of it, the oblivion of directionlessness. That's what we're trying to not have, right? Because we need that end goal in mind. Otherwise, we just are. We're just human beings, and you're just being. You're not doing anything. Be a human doing. Go do things. Like, do things for the greater good. Do things for yourself. Do things for your future and your goals and intentions and desired outcomes every single day. Every single day. You can't give up, because that's what real heroes do. They do the dirty, basic, boring stuff over and over and over and over again.